Hello and welcome to JJ's Food Reviews. So today I went to Las Margaritas. It's a Mexican restaurant here. They have 4 locations in the metro area. I think the say on the bag where. Let's see. They have a location in. I'm trying to untie the bag so I can actually read it well. Okay, they've got a location in Marysville, one in Auburn, one in Issaquah, and one in Seattle. And I went to the one in Seattle. So here's my food. First of all, the guy said he put some chips and salsa in here for me, which I like chips and salsa. Let's start off with that. Here's my fork. I'll put that in the bag. Okay. Okay, classic sort of yellow corn chip here. It's really got a nice crunch. So the moment of truth when we try the salsa here. Let's go ahead and get a little bit on the chip here. See, it's nice and red. Ready? Salsa. So the salsa, it's good. It's not super spicy. And this sort of makes sense if you think about this as kind of the house salsa that they give you with the chips and salsa when you sit down to eat, if you eat in the restaurant. So they don't want to alienate a lot of customers by making it too hot to handle. Of course, I've got a really high tolerance for heat, so it's kind of on the mild side in my taste. But the flavors are good. It's kind of salty. It's got some nice herbs and spices. I think it might have a bit of cilantro. Tomatoes taste nice and fresh. So it passes the test. It passes muster. Nothing extraordinary, but solid. So my typical rating for something like that is a 7 out of 10, and that's what I give it. Same for the chips. Not overly oily, but fried corn tortillas. Solid, passes muster, 7 out of 10. So my dinner meal here is it's a burrito. It's a bean burrito. I'm not sure if it's actually vegetarian though, but it may have lard in the beans refried, which is sometimes Mexican restaurants do that. Personally, if I'm making beans, like refried beans or whatever, at home, I always put olive oil or coconut oil. I don't like to put lard, but I'm not actually a vegetarian or vegan. I prefer, I don't really like lard that much, but anyway, I digress. So one of the reasons I chose to eat here for dinner is because I've heard they have huge portion sizes, and you can see that that is obviously the truth and not a lie. So we've got some beans here with cheddar cheese, which I will point out, in traditional Mexican cuisine, they don't really put cheddar cheese on stuff. That's kind of more of an Americanized Mexican food thing, as far as I know. So, if anyone knows otherwise, please correct me, but I have heard that, and I've been to Mexico, and I've had some pretty authentic Mexican food, and I've never really, I've kind of noticed the absence of cheddar cheese or yellow cheese, orange cheese. Mostly, you've got like the queso fresco or the cotija type cheese. But anyway, I digress once again. But I think beans are very central to Mexican food. So I'm going to go ahead and try these first. You see the beans with cheddar cheese. The cheddar cheese is standard. Cheddar cheese kind of tastes like a medium variety. The beans are very blended. Pureed actually. Flavor's nice. It's not overly salty. Just the amount I would salt it. And it's been blended with some sort of oil or fat. I'm not sure what. Probably lard. It's good. It's all right. Yeah, I think it's lard. I think I can taste that sort of lard type flavor. I'm happy with them. I've had better that I've actually made myself, you know. Hey, I don't want to brag. But they're still good. I'm going to finish them. I'm enjoying them. I'm going too far right here. I've got to try the rice first, huh? Like I said, once again, I'm neither, well, with these, I'm neither like overwhelmed or like amazed, but I'm not at all disappointed. Solid, passes muster, 7 out of 10. Once again, now let's try the rice. Standard, it's listed as Spanish rice. I'm not so sure what makes rice either Spanish as opposed to Mexican rice, but this is the typical, you know, rice cooked in tomato juice like my aunt used to make, so let's see how good it is. There's another bus going by, so I'm parked by a bus stop. I mean, standing by a bus stop, I'm not parked. I'm eating my dinner by a bus stop. So anyway, rice. Well, first of all, it's nice and tender. It's not undercooked, which that's the first thing I look for. I hate it when I get rice and it's undercooked. This is nice and soft. Flavors are nice. Slightly on the bland side, but still nice. It's a bit of salt, but not overly salted. It's nice and soft and moist, so that's very positive. First thing I look for is if it's too dry, if it's undercooked, if it's hard, it's crunchy. None of those things here. It's properly cooked rice. It has just kind of a salty, tomatoey flavor. So like I said, slightly bland, slightly underwhelming, but they've got the key points nailed down nicely. And there's a nice big chunk of tomato, which I'm gonna eat. Once again, rice, 7 out of 10. Okay, so let's try this. Some form of salad, green salad with carrots in it. Almost looks like coleslaw. It's basically coleslaw. I'm not sure if this is I've heard of a Mexican salad called jicama salad or something. I'm not sure if that's this. I've never really had jicama salad. But this just tastes like coleslaw to me, but it's, you know, it's actually quite good coleslaw. Personally, I've always liked understated coleslaw. That's really fresh and nice tasting. It doesn't have a ton of, you know, mayonnaise or Miracle Whip or whatever. It's just kind of light on the oils, and that's what this is. This is my favorite item in this meal so far. coleslaw, I mean the cabbage or jicama, whatever this is, it's nice, crisp, and fresh. The carrots are, you know, they add a hint of, you know, that carrot sort of flavor. There's not many of them, but I'm okay with that. It's just enough to add that hint of carrot taste. They've got a nice, very nice vinegar flavor. I love it. I love that vinegar taste. I've always liked vinegar. I used to be known to drink vinegar, which is not always a smart idea because too much can make you sick. But anyway, I digress once again. It's got, you know, mostly the seasoning is, I'm picking up a little bit of, maybe a mild bit of oil. I don't know if it's olive oil or what it is, and that nice vinegar taste, and it's just really refreshing. I just really like this coleslaw. So a little bit of pepper on there, I think. You know, I'm trying to think if anything could make this better. You know, I've just got to be open about this and say I can't think of anything that would make this better. I might have gone just slightly lighter on the oil, and that's being really picky. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's very good coleslaw. So let's move on to the main course. We've got a burrito. Let's cut it open and see what it looks like. So it's okay, it's got more beans in there, and got a little bit of sauce on top. I'm kind of thinking this is just beans. I don't even see cheese inside. They offered to add cheese on top, which I declined because it would have cost more. But not only that, I tend to like my ingredients inside the burrito rather on top of it. I don't know, it seems like that's the whole point. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a bite of this bean burrito. So what it is it's these beans inside a tortilla, plain and simple, and some sauce on top. And the sauce is like tomato based. It's not hot at all. Well, it has a hint of spice, but very mild. Tortilla is a typical flour tortilla. The sauce, I think the sauce is thank you. Yeah, doing a food review for YouTube.
God provides.
Amen, that's right. Have a good evening. You meet a lot of nice people when you're out amongst the citizens of this beautiful city. Anyway, this is pretty standard fare, but it's good. I mean, that's pretty much how I sum it up. It's pretty standard. What stood out for me was the coleslaw, but for me, what I'm liking that works well with the burrito is this red sauce on top, and I thought it would just be more salsa, but it tastes a bit different to me. I mean, this is a bit more watery. I just took a sip, and it's definitely hotter. So the salsa is hotter, still on the mild side in my opinion, but it may probably be classified as medium if you were getting salsa in a supermarket. But anyway, this review is getting long, so don't want to bore you by going on and on and on. Basically, this is not as liquidy. Is that a good word to use? It's more. It evokes tomato paste, but with more flavor. So that's kind of how I describe it consistency-wise. It's got a bit of a cinnamon and chili kick, which I really like, and it's working really well with the bean burrito. So inside, more refried beans and tortilla, but that sauce kind of makes it work just really nice. Simple. It's beautiful in that it's simplistic, but everything checks the boxes for me, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not going to give this like way at the top because it didn't, really, go above and beyond, but it definitely satisfied me. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 as well. So, that was a very good meal, and I gave, everything except the coleslaw 7 out of 10. I gave that a 9 out of 10. I paid about, I think it was $12.95 before tax for this meal, but it was a fairly large meal, and it was satisfying. It didn't go way out there and do something kind of really like to show me like, wow, this is some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. I didn't do that, but at the same time it was satisfying, and I felt that my money was well spent, and I had a satisfying meal after work. So I'm a happy camper. I've got to say, I'm a very happy camper, and I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 overall because of, just over $10 will not usually get you a whole lot in Seattle because of the way prices are. So I got a really nice filling meal which satisfied me for just over $10, and I feel really good and satisfied now, and the flavors were nice as well. Very satisfying meal, satisfying dinner for just over $10, and I'm happy with it. So I give this an 8 out of 10, and that's pretty much it. So behind me is the Bitter Lake Reservoir. At night it evokes something that looks like, you might expect Stonehenge on top of it. It's just like a really dark and foreboding looking hill. It's funny to think water comes from there, which gives life to the people of this neighborhood. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. It's been a long one, but I wish you a good night. Take care, everyone.